one. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dishin Days, where we serve you a full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my one gaggle of gal. Y'all know him, y'all love him. He's back, bitches!
I'm back, bitches. Who am I, Tony?
Who are you?
I'm James Lott Jr. Hi, everybody.
Oh snap.
Hello, everybody. We love you guys. Glad you guys are here.
Thank you guys so much for watching us live or even watching us later. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The app is currently trying to figure out whether they're supposed to be in quarantine or not. Also, make sure you subscribe to our very own YouTube channel, which is right here. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also give us a thumbs up to show us that you really like this video. All likes and subscribes really help us and support us. You guys have always asked how you can continue to support us. There's 3 ways. You tune into our show, you subscribe, and you hit like. So if you've done all 3, we greatly appreciate your support.
Do it, bitches. Do it. Like, but subscribe, bitches. Subscribe.
You yelled like someone's parent at the football game, and I'm startled.
That's how you do it. Get your attention. They need subscribers. They need likes. That's how this works. So do it.
We do. All right, James Lott Jr. What did you think of this short week? First of all, let me explain a couple of things. One, Michael Mattis needed a change of scenery, so he is out of town living his best life. So, hey, Michael Mattis, he'll be back next week. Also, this week was a short week due to a golf tournament. Apparently, either you were watching golf, or you were watching Ellen, or you were watching something. So that's why it was a short week. So now that we got all that BS news out of the way, James Lott Jr., what did you think of this short week of Days of Our Lives?
There were some fun moments. I mean, I rolled my eyes in certain moments. I chuckled at some moments. I thought some moments were kind of good. But it was like a really short week. It wasn't a lot happening, but there were a few things just setting up. It's kind of like just setting things up for the next couple of weeks.
It's an info week. It's a short info week.
It was. So it's like kind of like, okay, we see that nothing really happened this week that was major, but it will be happening soon. What do you think? I know, exactly. There's some stuff, they sent some stuff up. I see that they're inner workings. So
yes. I felt like there were some interesting things happening. I felt like, oh my gosh. And then I felt like, it's an info week, so why not?
I did realize a few times, just like, oh, really? So we'll talk about all that, of course.
Yes, of course. Well, let's get the party started. It is now time to start Dishin Days.
We each got one. I'm going to set it and forget it somewhere next to Baby Yoda.
Oh, gosh. All right, so let's kick things off with our first storyline, which is Marlena, John, and Brady. So somebody is up and awake. And how did you feel when he was like, Sammy, who's he? I literally was like,
that's where I chuckled. That's where I laughed. I thought that's hilarious.
Well, I thought to myself, like I was looking at John and Marlena, and I thought, Lord, like, when they gonna have a break?
They have been through it. I chuckled. I mean, of course, short-term memory loss happens sometimes when you go through something serious like that.
Yes.
But that's one of the ones. That's one of the pieces where I chuckled at and go, "Oh, that's kind of funny." I don't know. I just see right before that. That wasn't on last week. I just love that Brady and Marlena had that kind of thing last week where they're like, "You're family. You're like my son. You are my son. I'm your mom." That at first we didn't start out great, but we are there. So I like that they were there for each other. And Brady loves John so much, and John loves Brady. So it's just good to have him wake up. It's like, okay, John, wake up. We need John Black. I need some John Black in my life. So I was just very cheering that they were there. He woke up, and that it was. Well, we'll talk about the rest of what happened this week. It was just kind of funny. So I'm glad he was back.
Yeah. But you know, there was a moment of like unsure if, and Marlena kept just reassuring him like it's okay, like this happens, it's all right. Um, but what we're noticing is that somebody is lashing out
I loved it. Loved it. Oh my God, I loved it.
when when Sammy walked in with that cactus and that peace offering and was trying to talk to him all la ti da. He literally sat in the bed and was just like,
Hey, first of all, Tony, those cactuses that have the different colors on top of the cactus, you get
mhm.
them at like Home Depot for like $5.99. So I recognize that cactus. You know I'm a gardener. You know
So
I'm always
so what you're trying to say is that she went to the hospital gift shop and
exactly.
brought the cactus, same place where Maggie bought the get well soon
Yes,
balloon for Xander.
yes, exactly. I was like, that cheap ass cactus. I've seen those. I had a few of those in my yard at one point. It was kind of funny. I thought a cactus, and she was trying to be funny because she's like, low let's like me, and she thought he was gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, but not New John. New John was not having it. He was just like, "Oh yeah, you would bring a cactus." He read Sammy. It was so funny. He's like, let me get a book and let me just open it up and just start reading you. And that's what he did. He started just turning the page a little bit, and she was like perplexed, like, John don't do this normally.
John let Sammy have it because he was basically like, "Oh, I remember, and this is what you said," and then took that cactus and said, "Whoopsh,"
Oh, I know. I was like,
and then called her a bitch.
I mean, we called her a few adjectives that led to bitch. You are a blank, blank, blank bitch. He said it with conviction. And she was like, I mean,
He was stunned.
she was.
Stunned.
And he was like,
Stunned.
get that cactus and get out. Cactus all over the floor. She's all prickling her hands. And he's like, get that cactus and get out. And she's about to go. She's like, wait a minute, put the cactus down. I was so late. She's like, wait a minute, put that cactus. The cactus is in there. Oh yeah, Trader Joe's. They're all Trader Joe's cactus. One of those places. They're all. I've seen that cat. It's really cheap. I've seen it. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of funny. But no, he was not having it. He goes, I didn't remember at first. She was like, I remember. And he was like, oh, I didn't remember at first, but I remember everything.
I remember now. Yeah. Yeah. But everyone in the chat room seems to be loving that scene that happened. Like a lot of people are saying that they loved it. Deidre Wilmore said, "Oh, what did she just say?" Because it was so good. Where is that comment? Oh, she said, "R.I.P. Cactus."
Okay. It was just so funny because again, we didn't expect. Well, we saw the previews, but again, it's not John. So not John to do that.
It's not.
And okay, the one thing that could be where some fans were upset about this, because Sammy and John had come to a place prior to this, they were in a good space. I mean, he had finally forgiven her. She had finally forgiven him all those years ago, the whole thing. So some folks are like, they're sliding back to it, but I think it makes a good drama. Why the hell not? I mean, and Sammy does this bulldoze her way through stuff. That's what Sammy does. And so John should get upset. I mean, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't her fault he had the aneurysm, but he was saying stuff to her that was pretty nasty. It was pretty nasty.
Listen, I feel like he is aware that there's a change, and so because he snapped at Marlena.
Oh, I know. Marlena was like, oh.
Yeah, but Marlena being a doctor, she was just kind of like.
she did. She looked though like okay.
She kind of had that look like, I know that you just suffered some trauma. But let's not forget, I am Dr. Marlena Evans Black.
Okay.
And you will not raise your voice at me, John. Oh, the moment when he started to remember was so, like, she was kind of, first of all, when he was like, it sounds like I've been through a lot. And I was like, Lord, don't you go through that history, because that's a lot of history. I was like, he's going to be exhausted. But when he looked at her and was like, did I call you Doc? And she went, oh. And I was like, oh, That's so cute.
Marlena looks that she always does.
Yes.
Yes. No, I mean, the thing is, John, they have been, a lot of history, a lot of stuff going on. It was kind of fun. But yeah, no, I like that he was like, I did say it to Sammy. Because she's like, I don't believe that. And he's like, no, I did talk to Sammy that way. I didn't mean to. I don't know what's going on. So there's something wrong with me. And she's kind of like, no, but we'll go check anyway. Like, it was kind of like, ugh. So yeah, you're right. He's aware there's something off about him, which I think great storyline. Sure, we start going off on people tonight. I would love that. Give me a different kind of John. So folks chat room agree with me. Give me a different John.
Yeah, I feel like this just allows him just to be a little more. But it's like, but then it's kind of like, do we need this? Because I've been saying this. Brian W said, Tony, your Marlena impression was spot on. Oh, please gift that. Exactly. Give that. I'll tweet that out.
Brady Bobby.
But and I've been saying this for years that at some point there needs to be a little transition to where the super couples, the I don't want to say older, but the more well-known super couples can just be that, couples. You know what I mean? And they are a part of the things, but I don't know if things need to continue to happen to them. Does that make sense?
It does. I half agree with that. I feel like there's other story to tell with them without to go with your thing without making them always one in the hospital, the other one in the hospital, one in the hospital.
Yes. That
part's a little tiring. So like right now in General Hospital, not to compare, but to compare, they have an older set of people that are involved in the spy storyline. Mm-hmm. It works. So nobody's in the hospital or anything. They're all on the run. They're all helping each other out. It's kind of funny, comical. That could work. It's like, don't always have one always life and death all the time. Like that is what you're saying, Tony. It's kind of like, it's always life and death. It's like, how many times can Marlena be shot? How many times can John be shot? How many times can John be tied up? Like, it's kind of like, unless you're going to make it comical or whatever, at some point, it's like, it's too much. Yeah. It's just too much. They've been around for a long time. They're not in their 20s and 30s anymore. Now, again, I'm older. I'm not even saying anything about old people. I'm just saying that at this point, they earned their status. Like you said, they earned their status.
Yeah.
Like a super couple.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
J Squared said, give Maggie and Victor a couple months apiece.
I'll just read that too. But they don't have to be, put to pasture. I'm not saying that at all. You can still write really interesting storyline, but maybe we have different direction. It's like it's not always life and death like this.
Yes. Let's see. I think because they are older couples and Jarlena is not a big hit. Well, I mean, they're Jarlena, so they are a big hit. Right. Now the only way to keep them on screen and exciting is to make drama, to have one of them get sick or something. No, like James just said, there are many different ways that you can transition them.
Yeah, there's other ways. There's many. That was up to the writers to have some imagination, and they can come up with something. Come on, Ron, you come up with something.
Yeah, I almost feel like we now need to add a cactus to our repertoire of things.
I don't have one nearby, but if I have one, I have a lot of plants. I don't have one nearby. I pull it out. John Del Rey. Olivia is around my age in real life, so I'm not calling her old like that, but she is older, mature. Trust me, I'm an old person. I want to see my people on screen. Trust me.
Yeah. Norvell, who we all know is Team Sammy. Sammy brings big ratings to this show. Sammy Brady brings me joy. Yes, Norvell.
It is nice to have her around. It is.
Yes, it is. I mean, I always enjoy when Hurricane Sammy comes in.
Me too.
But I hate that she abruptly leaves. So that's a problem. Kelly said, "Get a dancing cactus, Tony." That's a good thing.
Cactus, I know. I love it.
John Del Rey said, "I want to see this John blow up at Victor or Roman."
I would love that. I'd love that. Again, give me him having a little attitude adjustment thing would be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah,
it would be fun.
So we will see how things continue to improve for John and where this storyline goes. I'm just glad that it wasn't like a whole memory loss forever kind of a thing.
Thank God.
All right, let's move on to Lani, Eli, and Kristen. Ooh. Okay, let me ask you this.
Okay. Yes, my drink.
And everyone in the chat chime in too. Are you, when it pertains to this situation and how they handled it,
I know you're going to ask, yes.
Are you team Lani for wanting to protect Kristen? Or are you team Eli for doing his job and arresting Kristen?
I'm team Lani, sorry.
You're team Lani?
Yes.
Honestly, I'm team Lani as well. Because I feel like I just understood where she was coming from. That year that they spent in the convent, I keep wanting to call it a nunnery. It's a convent.
Nunnery. The nunnery.
That year that they spent in the convent really.
Everybody's team Lani, but a few team Eli's. Wow.
I see Eli. Eli is right. Team Eli. Team Eli. Team Eli. Team. It seems very split. Like I see some Lanis and I see some Eli's. A lot of people are torn, and I think the only reason why I'm team Lani is because it puts her in a sticky situation because she is a cop. She is pregnant with twins. Like there's a lot going on. And for Kristen to swoop into town with Rachel and say, oh, can you watch Rachel while I tend to Brady? My first thought was, well, Kristen, wherever you were, why didn't you have them watch Rachel and then you just swoop into Salem by yourself so that you don't have to worry about anything else except you? So that's one. But two, it's just kind of like I know Lani feels like all the feels. She know what it's like to lose a child. And she understands that Kristen didn't do this maliciously. And she really wants to protect her friend. But she is very torn as far as like doing her job. And I think she sacrificed that because she sees the sacrifices that Kristen is making. She was hoping that her and Eli were on the same page by being like, okay, bitch, listen, I'm protecting Kristen. Don't say nothing.
Right.
Shh. Don't say nothing. But Eli became torn, and his whole reasoning, as far as like a lot of the bad guys don't get punished and justice isn't served. Well, where have you been for the past 54 years in Salem?
So for me, there's a little bit of I'm not torn. I get both sides, but I'm not torn. I'm Lani's because number one, they are friends. They are close friends, best friends. What Kristen did, I'm sorry. She's not a threat to society at the moment. Not really. Her being in town. I mean, different if she had done all these other crimes and she was like being held for that. Yeah, she went after Victor. Victor ain't a good guy either. Not saying he deserved it or anything, but it was extreme circumstance about what she was going through. She thought her child was dead for a year. I was like, to me, that's why I like the storyline, because it's gray. The storyline is completely gray. A good soap storyline is gray. So I think that's why it's not, Eli's not completely wrong. I don't think Lani's completely wrong. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, that's her friend. She's been there for her. Again, like Justin said in the chat room, I love seeing real female friendship. There's a real friendship between these two. Unlikely friendship, especially. We had no idea. But I love them as friends. And I thought, it's actually a good storyline to give Eli and Lani that's just different. It's a regular storyline. It's like, this is a soapy storyline with all the gray areas. I think Eli went behind her back. I'm with Lani on that. That's where the difference for me comes from. Is that we should have talked about it. We could have disagreed, and he could have said, I'm still going after her.
Yeah.
And then Lani could deal with that. But the fact that he didn't say nothing, he went and just did it on his own. And I was like, oh, well, it's kind of like, well, we're married. That comes first also. Like, I mean, it's kind of like, hello. But Kristen's only a threat, like Me World 2 just said, she's only a threat to Victor, possibly. Who cares? I mean, she's not out there trying to get anybody else. And she really is being different. So Eli, made the threat so he was teamed too much on that. I think it's a little too much on the threat on that.
The look that Lani gave him when he strutted into the police station, she was like, and I said, "Oh, ooh, Eli, you in danger, girl."
Josie, you're in trouble too.
That and ooh, you go get it. Yeah, yeah.
That was a good black girl look. I was like, that's right, girl. You tell him.
That was the ultimate, like, you about to get it. You are in trouble. So I'm gonna scheme through.
I want to respond to somebody who's like, I think sure it was like, well, she took the baby without telling him. Yeah, but again, it's not. Again, she's watching a baby. He's gonna find out she's watching a baby. Like, it's not gonna be that much of a secret. She said, yeah, they're friends, and that's why she's watching the baby. And so, but him going behind her back, they can disagree about that, but him going behind her back to actually arrest after they agreed to not do it. So it's almost like not telling something and doing it first is one thing, then agreeing to something and then doing the opposite. To me, again, it's a gray area, but I think it's completely still, he's a little more wrong than she is. He can be mad at her for taking the baby and all that kind of stuff. And oh, yeah, the baby, you didn't tell me. That's one thing. But if you sit and agree, I won't say anything, which he said he won't say anything.
Yeah.
Won't do anything, smiled on her face and went straight to the hotel room. That to me is kind of crazy. She's all a felon's baby. Half the folks in that town have been arrested, have records. Half of them shouldn't have children in the first place, probably in their hands. So, I mean, half of them killed, not killed, stabbed, shot. I mean, come on. I mean, this is soap, so we have to just forgive that part. But I mean, we go by straight when it go to actual, for her taking in a child without telling him versus him agreeing to not do something and then doing it, that to me is the problem.
So a lot of people have a lot to say about this particular storyline. So I'm gonna go through and read some of the comments. So Sarah Johnson says, "I'm always going to be Team Lani for wanting to protect her best friend. I do the same in real life." Amaya Baker said, "I just don't care about Alani. Skip those scenes too, but I'm team both. I get Eli, I get Lani." Okay. Cherry Harrison said, "They never nurture female friendships on soaps, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it too." Deidre Wilmore says, "For better or worse should mean something." So I guess in regards to their marriage.
I think he retaliated after she said she had him under control. I think so too. Male ego. It was male ego.
Let's see. Diana Jeffries says, "I mean, I agree with Lani, but she don't need to be getting involved with getting Kristen off because she is pregnant." True. Justin says, "It's refreshing to see a female friendship on the show. Days used to specialize in friendship stories." And we all like the friendship aspect of it, especially when we see like Kate and Marlena and like, other like friendships that we forget about.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Someone thinks that Kristen would ditch Lani. Brady is number one. I don't think she would ditch Lani. She's shown she's been there for Lani. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Lani loves Eli. I mean, they both love their men, but I mean, she's shown herself to be there for Lani.
Yeah.
And Lani explained that.
John Del Rey said, I understand where Lani is coming from, but too bad. Eli and Lani are cops. We criticized Hope when she shot Stefano because she was a cop too. We understood where she was coming from too, but too bad.
Novell Jackson, my husband couldn't turn my best friend in without telling me. Victor got what he deserved. See, I kind of agree with Novell. Sorry. Again, Victor's not some victim in this whole thing either. It's like he set things in motion that destroyed a lot of lives for a year. So I'm not saying it's correct that that she should have stabbed him, but I'm just saying that it's kind of like nobody is like innocent in this whole situation. It's it's gray. Sometimes gray is good.
Norvell did also say he loves Kristen and Lani's friendship. Huh. So it's a lot. I think people had a lot to say about this particular storyline because you get torn because you're looking at Eli like, what you do that for? So I don't know. It
makes for a good storyline. It makes people talk about it. That means that they're doing their job.
But also, listen, then you can see the writing on the wall. You're like, oh, Lord, they just got married. They about to have twins. Leave them alone. But I also thought this. Someone else in the chat said that Kristen should have took the baby to see Brady. True. But I also thought this. If for some reason Kristen goes to jail, my first thought was, okay, now look, Days. I know that Lani and Eli lost one baby. Y'all done gave them twins. Do not give them Rachel too. That's 3 babies in one sit. But then I forgot about Brady. I was like, okay, the baby will go to Brady. But
I think Kristen's not going to jail. I think Victor may, if they get Victor out, how it would change her heart.
it's also Victor goes in there and say, I want to drop all charges.
Yeah, I think so. But because he did wrong.
Well, especially when Brady went to go see Victor and was just like, I need a, did he say I need a favor from you or I need to talk to you?
Like that. Yeah. So yeah. I think it's gonna be. It's not. She's not gonna go to jail. He'll do it for Brady. He'll do it for Brady.
He'll do anything for Brady.
Exactly.
And that's it. That was pretty much that storyline. So then we have Ben, Hope, Ciara, and Eve, which, okay. Raise your hand if you're confused.
Well, I'm not confused.
I am, because I'm like, if Ciara wasn't in the car, where's she at?
Because remember, we didn't see the way they shot it. We're going by the way they shot it. It was from an angle.
But they also said, because Sean Douglas got the report.
Yes.
About the whole incident and hadn't read the part about Ciara. Someone else was going to read it for Hope. Hope said, nope, I want to look at it. She discovered that they didn't discover nobody.
Right.
No DNA. It wasn't charred up. It wasn't down to the gristle. There was nobody. And then they were like, do you remember seeing her? In fact, I don't remember seeing her. And I'm thinking to myself, we didn't see her either. We all, like, please believe, we all were looking at the car like.
I was like, I see some hair. What's going on over there? I was like, who's that?
It's like, yeah. And also, furthermore, when Vincent got out of the car, if I was Ciara,
exactly.
I would have got out of the car too. Right. So now it's kind of like, where's she at? Why hasn't she ran somewhere and came home? Like, what's happening?
She's off the show. That's why. You hear about Victoria Conifel? Off the show.
We know that, James Lott Jr. But I'm just saying, James, what could be the possibilities as to what happened to Ciara if she ain't dead?
This beat is automatic, supersonic, hypnotic. So I'm glad she's not dead. That's number one. I'm glad he left it open-ended. I'm just so glad. I mean,
Brian W. said Ciara put herself in timeout. She's probably like, listen, look, let me just take a minute. She's like, I've been kidnapped. I've almost been burned. Now you got this fool. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to chill out somewhere else. Just give me a minute. I'll be back.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of, yeah. So, everybody's talking about how she's coming back with her. But she's not on the show full time. I mean, she's gone for now, as we know. But I feel like she escaped. I feel like Vincent said they're off. Either they're together or they just escaped somewhere. Or she's hurt and we'll find out one day. I mean, who knows? I mean, if they bring the character back. So. It'll
be interesting to.
Yeah. But I'm glad she's not dead. I'm glad she's not dead. I'm glad.
Me too.
I'm glad they injected hope. I'm so glad they injected
Yes, hope. Because I'm just like when Hope. First of all, I don't know how Hope has kept it together. Right. Because I was sitting there feeling like, okay, here's the thing. You have lost your husband. Your almost husband tried to kill you and ended up being crazy. You lost your son, and now you lost your daughter. All you got is Sean Douglas.
I know.
And he in Hong Kong. All of a sudden, when she like had the rush of emotions and like kind of like fell out, and then Abe came in and consoled her, all I could hear was, all by myself. That's what I heard. And I wanted to give Hope a hug and be like, girl, you're gonna make it.
The thing is, I mean, I'm just glad she's not. I'm glad she's not dead. I'm glad she's not dead. And see, the thing is, They never play Hope and Claire together. That's her granddaughter. She doesn't also because she has a grandchild. They never play them together. So yeah, Hope has to Sean Douglas, and that's it. I mean, that's going to be in her life. That's it. So, but Hope's leaving too. So there you go, kids. And homegirl said she ain't come back. So all you fucking Kristen Alfonso, she said she's gone. That she did. That's it. So whatever her last date is, that she's it. She's gone. So
Angel said
for a while. I know.
Angel said, "Hey Tony, how about Mama Belle? Are we talking about Belle Black? Because that's not her. That's not her daughter. That's not her daughter. That's her daughter-in-law.
Her granddaughter from them.
But I mean, I get that she's not completely alone, but still, like that's a lot of folks.
They're not close. They don't show that. They never show them together. They're not close. They never. Hope don't care about Claire. I agree with you. They don't ever show them together.
Deidre says Hope needs a timeout too.
She had a lot going on with her too. So I just think it's just yeah. So anyway, so I'm just glad Ciara's not dead, and that's the great part. So they just your character, they can recast it later, whatever, or whatever. And somebody's yelling at me reoccurring. Victoria's on the show for good. So whether she's recurring or coming on every once in a blue moon, they're gonna have to recast the character at some point probably. And Victoria be somebody else, I guess.
Oof.
I know it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Days don't care. They do it. They do it all the time.
Listen, look, of course they do.
They recast Beau. I remember years ago when they brought on Robert Kelly. We're like, who's that? And all of a sudden, and it actually worked. They recast Billy's. They recast him. They've not. Hey, recast Roman. Made him John Black. He was Roman at one point, so they'll get on the show. They will recast somebody in a second. The other person they have not recast is Marlena. That's the only person they have not recast. Or Hope. Those are the other two they have not recast.
Let me tell you, I feel like any actress who knows would be like, I'm good.
I know. I know. I wouldn't do it.
I'm okay. Mm-mm.
But I remember they did recast. I said when he cast Beau, I was shocked. It actually worked. It was just going to boycott. That's so funny. I don't know. I mean, they probably would. I don't know.
Like, okay, now listen, Jason L. I'm going to read in between the lines and think it says, I'm not watching till Sin are back together. Okay, y'all going to get this show canceled for not watching because stuff isn't on. I'm just saying, there's all these other storylines happening.
Okay, now, John Del Rey, okay, yes. Teenage Hope was recast. That was 40 years ago. Yes, I'm talking about since no one remembers that bitch. The one that remember is Kristen Alfonso. So don't even try it. Don't even try it. Don't even try it, John Del Rey. No one's recasted her since that time period.
I didn't even know there was a Hope recast, so that's news to me.
She was also a baby at one point. So yeah, she got recast from a baby to a kid. I'm talking about from adult to now. They have never recasted Hope or Marlena.
Oh, are you okay?
Don't mess with me, my Hope people. Don't mess with me.
I mean, listen, did you check your blood pressure?
It's high. It's always high anyway. It's that taco I had before the show.
Lord. Okay, well, that's it with that storyline, right? Oh, and Eve. Eve made an appearance very briefly. I feel like there was a moment of just like looking at Hope and realizing that Ciara at that time was dead. I think made Eve kind of go, I think I just messed up.
Yeah.
And I think that moment was needed.
I'm just so sad that Hope does pay my bills.
Not the character Hope, but the Hope in paying your bills.
Hope pays my bills. Yes, Hope pays my bill. It really does. I was gonna say, that's what train of thought. I was gonna say something, but I lost train of thought. Never mind.
Oh well, it'll come back to you. Yeah. Eric Ware says, I hate it.
Justin brought up Dan Wells as a Sammy recast. He was. It really was, right? It was because he played Stan. I love that storyline.
Well, he wasn't a recast. He was Stan as Sammy. So Sammy reincarnated.
It was so good. That was such a. And he looked like it totally worked.
It did work. It worked real well. All right, and that was it for that storyline, right? So before we get into tidbits, I want to remind you, we are just blazing through this show today.
A short week. That's why it was short.
It was a short week. I just want to remind you guys to please, please, please show your love, show your support by subscribing to our YouTube channel. You're right here on it. So while you are chatting in our chat room, take a moment to look over, take that mouse, hit that subscribe button, and then gets back to chatting. And then take another moment to hit the thumbs up button to let us know that you like it and love it and want more of it. And of course, if you guys have not followed our social media, please make sure you do. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _Dishin Days on Twitter. And please make sure you share all of this information with all of your Days of Our Lives fans. Let's get everyone in here every Sunday to talk about all that's happening in Salem. Thank you.
Yes, and there's 43 likes, but 127 people watching. So I don't know what's going on there, Shady Sunday.
So 60 people need to get it together. Now listen, if you're like, I already liked the video, you liked the last video, this is a whole new video, so you got to like it too.
Or maybe don't like it. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe you guys don't like it.
If they don't like it, it's probably because of you. So let's get on to our tidbits.
Probably.
We have Sammy, Nicole, and Lucas. So the battle of the baby kind of continues. Nicole was offering help to Lucas to settle the baby down. She then tried to kind of do some Sammy bashing. And then Sammy walked in.
Well, she was at it. Like, she was there.
Right. And then Sammy walked in. And when I tell you Lucas is Team Switzerland, he's just listen, I'm just here to make sure that nobody gets hurt and the baby's okay.
Okay, so suddenly, the wheels are in motion. I don't understand. I'm sorry, I had to roll my eyes. So Nicole is the mother of all mothers. Suddenly, all of a sudden, she held the baby to her bosom and it quieted all of a sudden. I'm like, really? So she's the one? You're making her seem like she's so... Okay, I'm a grandparent. So that's why I've always been on Sammy's side. I don't care what Allie wanted. She ran off and did not, put things in proper writing. She didn't cross all her T's or dot all her I's.
But she said what she said, though.
But it didn't matter. She didn't. In the court of law, she didn't do anything. So as a grandparent, I'm the next of kin. There's no daddy. We don't know what a daddy is. And nobody else. So for Sammy to go after her grandchild, to me, it's in character and it's okay. I don't know, why is it suddenly Eric and Nicole are the best things on earth? I'm like, to me, that bugged the shit out of me. That just doesn't work for me. But,
it's because Allie, there has obviously been a trust developed with Allie, Eric, and Nicole. And it started from when she arrived in Salem. And she was not getting along with her mother. She had a moment where she thought about her childhood and was like, I don't want my child around my mother. I don't want to be around my mother. So she specifically said, and in not the legal way, but she said, I want my baby to go to Eric and Nicole. It's her baby. That's who she wants to go with. So therefore, Sammy, as a parent, in my opinion, I'm not a parent yet, hope to be, but not yet. In my opinion, if you already know that there is damage done to you and your daughter's relationship, and you still act out, do you really think Allie's going to come back and be like, thanks, mommy? No.
That's not even, Sammy's not even thinking about that. See,
no, she's not. And that's the problem. That's the problem, is that Sammy's not thinking about that. Yeah. She could have still been a part of the baby's life. Everyone could have shared in the care for the baby.
Disagree.
No one doesn't have to win.
No.
Well, of course you do, because you just want to be devil's advocate. But Allie said where her baby was supposed to go. Now she didn't say, and not to my mom. So I think in hindsight, what Eric and Nicole would have done is they would have ensured that Sammy could see the baby and everything like that, but they would have taken full responsibility for the baby. So that way, when Allie comes back, because we all know she was going to come back, she did come back actually, she wouldn't be pissed with Sammy in that you're doing it again. So it's only going to strain this already damaged relationship. And as you can see, Lucas is like, my name is Ben and I ain't in it.
Yes. Okay. My counterpoint to that is, if Allie was pregnant for a long time, why didn't she have Justin them put in writing and notarized and all legalese what she wanted in the event that something happened to her? The fact that she just ran off because she had a baby and ran off, that's immature. Everybody's talking about how her age and everything. Don't matter. You can be immature and be 50 years old. It doesn't matter how old you are and be immature. The thing is, she was immature and ran off. So once you run off, that negates everything. I'm sorry. You run off. You didn't take care of your baby. I see some folks you didn't take care of your baby. So Sammy, being the grandparent, and Lucas also have the right to go after the child and because Sammy's thinking about the family. Plus, Allie knows that Sammy and Nicole hate each other. That's another shady thing going on there. Why would Sammy, of all people, agree to go, yeah, let Nicole raise my grandchild? Allie knows that. She did part of that to get back at her mother also. That's what part of that is. And that's what kids do. I have children. They do stuff like that. That's what they do. They do shit sometimes just to get on your nerves. Allie's not dumb. She knows what's going on in her family. She knows the whole Nicole and Sammy story. They know all that stuff going on. Everybody knows the Nicole and Sammy story. Even the judge was like, yeah, I heard your history. That's the thing. I feel like there's several layers to this. So I feel like if she was so mature to have sex, so mature to have a baby, then she should have had the legal stuff. She had a lawyer or whatever, a lawyer's available. Make sure you put everything in writing so that Sammy couldn't. You said something that's very true. They say a lot of times in wills and stuff, you have to put down who can't get anything more than who can. That's the thing, because the people who, if you say, I want to make sure Uncle Tony and Uncle James do not get anything from my estate, that saves everybody everything. Instead of saying, I want so-and-so to have this, that extra added caution, then this wouldn't even happen. This wouldn't even be a suggestion. Then Eric and Nicole would have had a child. It would have been like, she should have put in writing, I do not want Samantha Jean Demira to have custody of my child. Then this wouldn't even be a conversation.
I can't wait until Allie unleashes her anger.
Which would be great. I love
it. Let me tell you, I snapped at the TV when she walked in because Sammy was trying to be slick. Because Lucas was like, "Ooh, these family gatherings are going to be a mess," and I agree. However, wait, hold on. Old Demira said, "I'm taking up a collection plate for James. He preaching."
I'm an ordained minister.
But the thing is that Sammy was trying to be slick and get the baby to roam. And when Allie walked in and was like, "The hell are you doing?" I was like, yes. I was like, I'm sitting here thinking like, we need you now. We need you now. We needed you a week ago, but we need you now. Because my thing is this, at the end of the day, I feel like what has been established is that no one listens to Allie. And Allie seems to be a very smart person. She makes dumb choices, but she's a smart person. And she does take after Sammy in a lot of ways, that she is stubborn, but she's kind of like the better version of Sammy. Like, she grew up as a child, like, I'm not gonna be like that, but I'm gonna pull some parts and be like that. So I feel like to honor what she's saying and for what I wish would have happened is what Marlena wanted to happen, and was for all of them just to have a conversation and really come to an agreement for what Allie wanted. And then when Allie comes back, she's like, "Oh, okay, all is well. This is cute. I like this." But Allie about to come in. She about to go off, and I can't wait till next week to see her go off and learn about all the stunts and shows shenanigans.
She goes off, be like, "Girl, well, and like, and at the end, again, like people said in the chat room, and then there's a father, the daddy issue. I mean, she's not even considering the daddy at all, which we all know who the daddy is at this point. They haven't said it, but we all know what it is. But the point is, there's a whole other side of the family that doesn't even know there's a child going on. I'm waiting for that to come out. That's going to be very interesting. So again, and it's Allie's body, and she chose not to abort the child. She chose to to have the child and to give it up for adoption. I still think she should have just went ahead and went through with Will and Sonny. There's all this other things you should have, could have, wished, and could have done. But the fact that she ran off, that's my thing. She ran off and didn't complete what should have happened. Then that's a problem. I mean, that's immaturity. I think that's just immaturity. So
I guess we'll see. And also, Sammy ain't got time to raise no baby. She got Johnny and Sydney. She got EJ. Like, girl, you busy.
Well, wait a minute. No, if Johnny is twins with Allie, then he's grown. Remember?
I thought Johnny and Sydney were.
No.
Johnny and.
Everybody's asking where is he? So he's grown. So she's not raising him. Sydney's a few years younger. So Sydney's probably a teenager. She's probably a teenager. So she got time. She got time. You got plenty of time. So I mean that's the thing. But it's again, since Allie and Johnny are half twins, but they're the same age.
Because Johnny is EJ's.
Yes.
Is EJ and Sammy's child.
Yes, exactly.
God, I forgot about that. So
I think Sydney's probably a teenager.
Probably her early teens.
Yeah, early teens. So she has her, but she can raise her child if she has to.
But she got EJ.
But Sammy she got money.
Well, clearly, because she said, "Let me make this donation to this place so that y'all can release Jan Spears." Speaking of,
Jan.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'll say they all got money, folks. So all this raising children, they can afford it. They can all afford it.
Oh, Justin said Johnny and Sydney are both grown. Sydney is only 2 years younger.
So Sydney's grown too. Okay, so then Sammy got time.
Hold on, let me see what Annie Gowen's saying. Tony, you're putting too much faith in regard to what an immature brat that left her baby wants.
I see that brain working hard, Tony. We thinking the same thing. And somebody else all.
Listen, Annie Gowen, because Annie Gowen will go on the Twitters and everything. She is not immature, nor is she a brat, and nor has she has shown that she has made some interesting choices. But I think in this stage where we are meeting Allie, she is very mature and realizes what she wants and what she thinks is best for her and her child.
I think she's immature a little bit. I think she's immature.
Of course you would. Of course you would. I think she is strong and independent, just like Sammy. And she is making decisions just like Sammy would that she thinks is best for her and her kid.
And trust me, I love the character Allie. I love the actress.
No, me too.
I'm a huge fan. So.
Yeah. So anyway, I still holler at Susan telling Sammy she thought dogs only give birth to twins with different fathers. Oh Lord have mercy.
I love it.
Okay, well, anywho, speaking of Jan, we have Claire, Jan, and Belle.
Yeah. I like this. I do. I like it.
Did you know what? Is anyone else concerned that there's a lot of folks in Salem that have been to Bayview recently that are just out and about?
Roaming the streets.
Flouncing
around. Life.
I'm just sitting here like, okay, now listen. I hope all y'all are okay, because y'all being unleashed in Salem, like y'all okay. I'm just saying.
It's funny. Okay, so there's a little shade, everybody. I'm sorry. There's a little shade. New Claire isn't impressing me because I haven't been on the show, so I loved Olivia Rose Keegan so much. I mean, maybe that's the problem. I just loved her so much as Claire. This Claire is doing a adequate job, but so far hasn't really hit for me. But this could work now because now pairing her in this crazy storyline with crazy Jan, going against her mother, kind of, this could work for me. I'm gonna need her to pick an accent. Sorry, girlfriend. I'm gonna need you to figure out: are you Australian? Are you not? Are you American? I'm gonna need you to pick one and go with it. Number one. But after that, I do think this part of the storyline, I kind of like it because Jan, of course, is playing her, but what she said spoke directly into Claire's brain.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said to her mom, "Oh, so you think two people who are baddie?" Like, I was like, "Oh," because there's also that distrust of her parents. They did talk crap about her at one point. She heard it. It's kind of that's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But I kind of like the fact that, and first of all, Helen Mandel is hot. She looks good. Mm-hmm. She has not aged a bit.
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, she is like amazing. But I like this part of the storyline where Belle is like, "No, bitch, get away from my daughter." Like, just I mean, like. I love it. I don't know. I love it. I'm liking this part. It's very soapy. I like it.
Number one, in regards to the new Claire.
Open arms.
Yes, because she hasn't been on that much. I think that, yes, we've had some people who were nailed it, like right off the bat. Like Stacey Hydu, when she first came on as Kristen, and she hit us with that main. Right, you got it, girl. Victoria, when she came riding on the motorcycle as Ciara, and she took off the helmet and let her long curly hair flow. We were like, that's Ciara. I think that maybe because the switch happened so fast, and because Olivia looks younger, so she played the appropriate age. Does that make sense? I feel like the new Claire would have been if they wanted to age Claire just a little bit. Like that. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess.
So I think that's what it is. And I also think that it's also maybe that the new Claire, again, it's all about foundation. You have to figure out what was the foundation that was laid for this character. Because had she played Claire right when Claire was being released from Bayview, I think we would have been able to get more into the mindset of this new Claire. You know what I mean? Because then Isabel would have had a chance to really establish what this Claire is like post being in there for a couple of years. But the fact is that we saw Olivia and she got out and she was doing all this stuff or whatever. And then one day she flipped to something else, and it was kind of we didn't have a chance to transition. So all that to say, give her a chance. Maybe she needs a couple more episodes. Although somebody did something different with her hair.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So that needs to be figured out.
No, so I said new Claire and Sean look like cousins instead of father and daughter. That's pretty funny.
OG Claire was just more like a bohemian. Well, yes.
Oh, okay.
This is true. Olivia definitely had this kind of rock. Maybe that's what it is too. Is the look and dress of New Claire. New Claire looks a little more Gap than Hot Topic.
I just think for me, so there's a lot of blondes running around, and they start looking alike to me. Sorry, they all look alike after a while. I'm like, you're a blonde, you're a blonde, you're a blonde, you're a blonde. There's a lot of blondes running around. So I'm like, that's what.
But I'm also with someone who said earlier, first of all, Jan, you are an adult. If them adults weren't home, you got to go. You can leave the flowers and then you got to go. But here you are being manipulative and stuff. And I don't blame Belle, not one little bit, for snatching. Belle said, get your, you come around my daughter.
No, I'm on Belle's side. I mean, I just think it's a good soapy storyline. It actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Go Belle to her daughter, and they both have the crazy connection. So it's I mean, it totally makes it, because when she was talking, even though she was talking out her ass, to kind of whatever, it did speak to Claire. That part I like that part of the storyline. That's the blonde. What's with the blonde shaving? Sorry, folks, a lot of blondes out there. After a while, I can't see after a while. It's all these blondes.
And then also, what's getting to Claire, if anyone is paying attention, is how they talk about people who have been in the psychiatric ward. So how they talk to Jan, Claire kind of looks at them and go, "Is that how y'all talk about me? Because I was in her same situation."
Yeah.
But I agree with Belle. Like that's. I said that and then I'm not sure because I was going to say it's different, but then we saw the connection that Jan and Claire had, where like they know they're doing wrong, but they're still doing it. Oh,
When Jan was talking to Claire and saying all this stuff, she was talking about herself clearly, but Claire could completely understand that.
Understand.
There was a total like connection happening, and I thought I didn't expect that, so I was like, ooh, that's really interesting. Because to me, it's good soapy goodness. So that to me, it's like that's good. And then have Belle on edge. Belle has every right to be upset, and Belle on edge. And then there you go. I mean, I think it's good. I like this part. I'm curious to see where it goes. I mean, anything to do with them, and now Philip be involved, and there's Sean. I love this. So, and I think bringing Heather Lindell back was great. I think she looks so amazing. I think it's great.
And then using Jan to travel over to Philip, and then we'll get to Philip and Xander.
Yes.
Philip was looking at her like, listen, don't act up.
I loved it. Loved those scenes. I love that mug, world's greatest CEO. And then Xander's like, oh, oops, and just do it on the ground and shattered it. It was hilarious.
I was just talking about Jan and Philip. How do you switch over to Philip and Xander?
I just like, as you said, okay, well, yeah, Jan, well, okay, then Phil, I thought we were going there. Okay, so yeah, Jan and Philip, I had nothing to say. I think it's just good.
Oh, okay, well then that makes it.
We're gonna wait and see what happens. Again, they're laying the groundwork to see what. I mean, he grabbed her, and so, I mean, we're waiting to see what happens.
But I find it interesting also that like they still use the storyline in the app on the show. Like for some reason, I thought that wasn't even going to be used.
Well, now it's good. It's smart of them. It's totally smart of them.
But then now does that wait? So none of them were actually dead, right? They all okay. So then there's hope for like bringing like Kevin and everybody else from the last flashback. Got it. Which I love seeing the last class people. But okay, Philip and Xander, yes. Continue your thoughts. Sorry.
I love this co-CEO thing. It's again, give me boardroom stuff. I love this kind of thing. You can mine a lot out because it's personal and professional. I love when soaps do this. So I am such how many gifts get thrown this week? The cactus, the mug. I know nobody can't buy nothing for nobody anymore. I love it. I have nothing bad to say about this. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be entertaining, steeped in history. Mm-hmm. It is son versus would-be son, so to speak, nephew, but like would-be son. To me, they both have great chemistry, actually. And you're right, Kenneth J. Johnson, the best Philip. So glad he's back. I love it. I have nothing bad to say.
It's going to be interesting to see this whole rivalry thing because I think they both would do a great job. I kind of lean more towards Xander because I do feel like he earned it a little bit more than Philip did. I agree. I feel like Philip is like, bitch, I'm blood. So
okay, exactly. I'm the son. So
yeah. So you can do whatever you want, but it's like that's going to be interesting. And then last but not least, we have Eric, and I believe her name was Angie. Because I feel like they only said her name once.
You know, all I saw was her hair. I didn't catch her name.
She had beautiful hair.
I loved her hair. I know. I was just saying. I saw her coming. I was like, "Who's this beautiful black woman?" I got mesmerized. So I don't know what her name is.
Yeah, she was gorgeous. But it's kind of like, oh Lord. I thought when she came back and was just talking about like the elders, told her to come seek Father Eric, to come back to Africa. I was like, whew, okay, we narrowing down. But I thought when she was like, oh, I have something to give you, I would have laughed if it was the white elephant.
Oh, what?
I would have laughed. I would have said, Lord, there's a third one.
Oh my God. Eric is her name is Angie. Her name is Angie. Okay. Yeah, Eric's leaving, as we know. Eric's leaving. Eric's leaving, but Sean, Greg Vaughn is leaving. I just was just like, she's beautiful, and it's a great storyline to do this with him. It makes sense, steeped in history, back to his father days. He can leave like a hero. It's like it's a heroic thing if he leaves this way. I have no. Oh, he thought it was a baby too. I know.
I mean, it's kind of like you just have to see how everything will play out.
Yeah. Now, again, they're setting it up. Again, they're setting it up. So
MeWorld 2 said Angie should stick around in Salem. Angie was like, "It was very nice meeting you, wife. I got to go take this plane and get to the conference."
Yeah.
Yes. So there's that.
She wasn't there for anything. But she's beautiful. Beautiful actress. Wherever you are, love you.
All right, and that was your week of days. Thank you everyone who's been reminding people to hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate you for that. But now we're going to go into our favorite segment, and that is, we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap.
Yeah.
All right, so first of all, hold on. Because Michael Mattis isn't here, I have to play...
Yes, all the stuff.
I have to play all the roles today. All the roles today will be played by Tony Moore. Where is that thing first? Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Let's do that. No. Okay. That. Alrighty. See, this is why you have engineers, because then people who are more prone to doing this can do it properly. All right, so first we're going to start with alrighty. See, this is why you have engineers, because then people who are more prone to doing this can do it properly. So there's so many buttons. First, we're going to start with all. There we go. I was like, why can't I hear myself? And it's because I did not mute myself. Oh goodness.
Folks, this is real life, kids. This is real life.
Real life. And you know what the thing is? I practiced this beforehand. All right. So now we're on to Tony's 3 Snaps Award. My three Snaps Award goes to John because when John called Sammy a bitch, I was like, yeah. Come through, John, with the bitch. I love it. So Drake Hoganson, John Black, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award for calling Sammy a bitch. And that has been your 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap. And now it's time for Look Who's Related.
You guys, I knew how to come back and do Look Who's Related. The Blondes. There we go. This is a triple related edition. So follow me. Allie Horton and Claire Brady. It's actually Alice Caroline Horton and Claire Brady. Okay. So Allie's parents are Lucas Horton and Samantha Jean Brady DeMere. Claire's parents are Sean Douglas Brady and Isabella Black, which is Belle. One way they're related. Lucas and Sean are Hortons. They are second cousins through Hope. Hope and Lucas are first cousins. So that makes Allie and Claire third cousins. That's one direction. Another direction is Sammy and Sean. They're first cousins through Caroline Brady. So that makes Allie and Claire third cousins on that side of the family. And lastly, Sammy and Belle are half sisters through Marlena, making Claire and Allie half first cousins. They usually don't say that half anymore because it's still any kind of blood, you're a cousin, but the official term is half first cousins. So literally, any way you slice these two, they're cousins. And I grew up with some of my third cousins, so that's still close enough. So they are related, and that is your edition of Look Who's Related with Allie Horton and Claire Brady.
And that has been Look Who's Related. We do not have a old shiz moment of the week from MeWorld 2 because MeWorld 2 said, I am bored, y'all. Ain't no old shiz moment of the week. So I was like, all right, MeWorld. So now we're going to move on to some news and gossip. So if you guys did not attend the virtual Q&As brought to you by Spectrum Celebrity Events, there are still some coming up. So coming up next week, September 26th, I believe is that day. Yes, September 26th. We have Thrady, Eric Martzoff, and Jen Lilly will be doing a virtual Q&A, followed by on October 3rd, Brock Kelly will be doing a virtual Q&A, and then Kate Mansi will be in October as well. So for all details and all ticket info, make sure you go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com. That's spectrumcelebrityevents.com for all details. And we are proud to announce that Salem Proud will happen on Saturday, October 10th. With me as your host, also along with Chandler Massey, Freddie Smith, Christopher Sean, Brock Kelly, and Greg Rickard. So make sure you go and get your tickets for this virtual experience called Salem Proud, happening Saturday, October 10th, brought to you by Spectrum Celebrity Events. So make sure you go and get your tickets today. SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. Also, just a reminder, Jen Lilly has released her new album called Hindsight. So make sure you go to jenlillymusic.com for purchase. And also, oh boy, that was not supposed to come up. Let me just stop that. She will be giving all proceeds to foster care and foster kids. So make sure you go and support Jen Lilly in her new album, Hindsight. And that has been your news and gossip.
Gossip.
Yes. All right. And oh wait, now there's one more thing. Lord Jesus. Now, before we head out, we are going to show you.
And it's the short version, folks.
Oh, here she go. We are going to show you what will be happening next week in Salem.
The DA's a little PO'd.
You pushed my daughter down a flight of stairs.
Her baby daddy's ID is on the DL.
Why doesn't your mommy want to talk about your daddy?
And this schemer's BFF is an evil MD.
What's up, Doc?
Wait a minute. Why did they recast Asian chick? Like, why is she a different one? What happened to the other one?
Because Laura, who usually plays Melinda Trask, was doing a play in New York during the time they needed her.
I loved her.
While you sitting there rolling your neck and stuff. But here's, I don't know if this is shade, but had you not known that, that's still some good casting because they look similar. Just a little bit. Like you can tell there's a difference, but like if you like in that promo, I thought, oh, Melinda Trask. And then I was like, wait a minute. Man, ain't Laura. Where Laura at?
It was her. But either way, well, like that's fine. And then she's working, that's good. But I was like, she was good. I liked her on the show. I thought, why is she back? But you know. So I guess she come back and say, thought Melinda left saying, well, she did. She come back to take care of business, I guess, or maybe she's, I don't know. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So, yeah. So next week is about to be real interesting. Maybe next week we'll finally know for sure who the baby daddy is.
Because I'm curious how they met up. I mean, I'm just curious with the whole, like, how did this happen? Like, how did that happen?
Party.
That happened. I'm like,
One night of passion.
I love it. I thought it was her. I got to go straight because I thought it was her. I got to go. That's so funny. I didn't even know it's a recast. Oh, I could tell she was a different person. You guys were making fun of me with the blonde references earlier, all the blondes. I can tell my differently.
Well, of course, but I also think they all thought it was her.
They
did. Well, because I think like in that promo at first glance, you're like, oh, wait. But when you really look at it, you're like, wait a minute. That's not the regular one.
So.
You what?
I knew the difference immediately. I knew it. So Ross back. That's good.
And I'm curious to see this team up with how Gwen and Dr. Rolfe are connected.
Yeah, I want to find. I'm curious. Yeah, how that happened.
And why is she doing this stuff to Abigail?
Yeah, no, I wonder why. Like, yeah, what's that about? Because his allegiance is to Stefano and his memory. Chad is one of his kids. Yeah, they're going to have to really explain. They have some explaining to do.
They got some explaining to do, Lucy. They got some explaining to do. Well, y'all, that has been the show.
I know. I guess so. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, before we head out, James Lott Jr.
I just want to tell you because we love you guys. I mean, we have a lot of fun on here. Yeah, we're shady. We have a good time. We have a good time on here. I love Days of Our Lives. I've been watching it longer than you guys have been alive. I love the show and I watch it and we change shady. So I'm glad to be able to come on and pop in every once in a while. You guys are so kind to me. I get to pop in once in a while. But I do have my own network too, JLJ Media. Any other soap stuff, follow me over there. JLJ Media everywhere. Just do that. Tony is on a show that I have produced called Forever and a Day. He debuts this week. So if you want to go and listen to a new soap opera and you haven't heard it yet, go to JLJ Media on Monday and Friday and listen to Tony Moore play his character on there. You'll hear his voice. You'll know his voice when you hear it. And support him and support that and support this channel, of course. We support this channel on JLJ Media all the time. We're always about Dishin Days and following stuff. And you can find me where James Lott Jr. is sold, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. Tony Moore.
And of course, you guys can find all of us on Dishin Days, Facebook and Instagram, and of course, _Dishin Days on the Twitter. And of course, you can find me as I'm heading towards my road of 10,000 fans. I just want the swipe up. So make sure you go follow me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. We thank you guys so much for tuning in on this lovely Sunday afternoon. We will see you back next Sunday for another full dish.
Where is it, Tony?
Another full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Enjoy your day. Bye, everybody.